On the Don't Judge Me But podcast are the personal opinions of the host and do not reflect the opinions of its employers, sponsors, advertisers, endorsers, or any third party. The information provided on the podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered as professional medical or legal advice. It is advisable to consult with a qualified professional for any medical or legal concerns. In other words, have fun, people.
God is good enough for them ducks. Is good enough for the shit.
But then when you're in your phone, you're like this, smiling and stuff. Like,
yeah. Let me hold that.
Going on?
Let me hold that.
Or even just wanting access to your partner's phone. Like, why? Why do you want access?
You know why you want access.
You want to be heartbroken.
You want to go through them DMs and see who they talking to. That's why.
You know what? If my girl was a toe sucker, or if she wanted me to do it, I probably would, but there would be strict protocols before that toe went in my mouth. I mean, I would probably have to like carry her to the bed. You know what I'm saying?
Because once the foot hit the floor, it's all over.
It's dirty. What's up, family?
What's going on? And we are back again. Yeah. Another one. What's going on, everybody?
My laptop.
Hello, everyone.
Really chill.
Yes.
How y'all feeling?
We are here. I'm chilling. Feel like I was all over the place at first, but I am here. How are you? What's going on with y'all? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Start of another week.
Indeed.
Start of another opportunity to get it done. Get it done right.
Get her done. I don't know why I felt her name. Get her done.
Get her done.
Yes. What's up, DJ? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat this evening. Thank you guys for rocking with us, as always. So, do we have a Don't Judge Me today? I got one.
What you got?
It's been a minute, too. Don't judge me. But if I want to do 65 miles per hour in the fast lane, I need you to go around, okay? Go around. I don't want to be behind somebody who's going slower in the middle lane. And I definitely don't want to get in the slow lane. I want to be in the fast lane, live a little on the edge, go around, because I ain't going any faster.
Yo, I'm not judging you, but you know you ain't right. I ain't going to judge you, but you know you ain't right.
65 in the fast lane?
What? Bump the rest of us.
I'm doing y'all a favor. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura. What's happening?
Y'all ain't about to make me blow my engine because y'all want to go NASCAR fast. No, go around.
That's when you get that pile up and it'd be like a mile long traffic. And then when you get up to the front of the line, you realize just a person doing 65.
Yeah, facts. That's the cause of the whole traffic jam.
Mm-hmm. I'm 30 minutes late.
Mars says 65 in the fast lane is crazy behavior.
Crazy behavior.
I'm asking for road rage at this point. And I'm not gonna make eye contact with you either when you drive around.
Hey, y'all know Wendy Williams, right?
Yeah.
Y'all heard about that conservatorship she under?
Nah.
No.
Like she doesn't have any control over her finances and people are making all her decisions for her.
No.
That's how it happened. That's how it happened.
She was doing 65 in the fast lane.
You fake news. I ain't listening to him. Not giving me the side eye as you pass. 9-3. And yeah, I see you flashing your high beams. You know how you flip your rearview mirror up so that the glare go away? That's what I'm doing. I'm asking for trouble. He said that's how Wendy Williams got that way. Sir.
They said something wrong with her. They said something is wrong with her. Clearly.
Oh, it ain't her going 65 in the fast lane. I can probably tell you that ain't
Rumor.
it.
That's what rumor. It's a rumor.
Fake news. We spreading fake news.
Don't listen to
today,
me.
y'all.
Confirm it. Confirm it.
Somebody fact check Dame, because Dame trying to get us taken down. He's trying to get a strike against us today. Live a little on the edge, huh?
A little bit.
So, of course, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we welcome you with open arms and tell you to hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so that you can see when we're live again, and join us in the chat like everybody else. He said it's a start, Marv. You know what? Yeah, we better put y'all in timeout. Tonight's topic is all about emotional intelligence and whether or not it can either help or hinder a relationship. So, first of all, for those of you who are watching, I need someone up here to explain to the people what is emotional intelligence.
My guess is when it's a person who has the ability to understand both sides. It is a person who thinks about how what they say will affect the other person. And I think it's also a person who tries to get an idea on what the other person might be suggesting. It's almost having a sixth sense of being able to read between the lines on what someone is saying and what someone is trying to say to you. That's what I think. That's my novice opinion. What do you guys think?
Gotcha.
Well, I think emotional intelligence is during a relationship, you're going to have a bunch of emotions, whether it's happy, sad, argumentative, joyous, envious, jealousy, because it's not always good. But in the course of going through all those emotions, you understand where those feelings are coming from. And understanding that there are some things you need to work on as you go through all these emotions, and understanding that when you're upset, you're not just reacting. You figure out why you're upset, taking time for yourself to calm down so that way you know how to better approach a situation as opposed to just flipping out. It's understanding that your emotions will influence your actions, but you want to be able to control your emotions to have better actions and reactions when something goes wrong.
And I'm supposed to follow behind those two. Okay, you're right. Emotional intelligence to me is just being aware of your partner's feelings and thoughts and behaviors, just like you would like for them to be aware of yours when you're in a relationship. Hey, Catherine. It's not just about you. Okay, this is a two-way relationship. So put yourself in your other person's shoes and treat them the way that you want to be treated. Basically, that's how I sum it up myself. Now, how important? We've defined all of this for you guys in the chat and those who are watching in our own little words. Now, how important is it, Dame, for your partner to be able to identify when you're being triggered by something that they're saying or doing in a relationship?
I think it's important to be on the lookout for minor changes in behavior. Remember, we're not going to always say what we think or feel, but there will be changes in how we react and how we respond in our conversation. So it's really, important to look out for the small changes in someone that might indicate that there's a problem. And I mean, even when you talk to them, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that they have a problem, but they want to be understood. They have a certain way of communicating. So it's about kind of trying to figure out how they communicate. That's what I think. What do you guys think?
I feel like it depends on where in that person's life you establish this relationship. Because you can get with someone who is at the lowest of lows, and so they're not self-aware of the things that's going to trigger them, or even the things that may trigger other people. They're in the process of doing the work. Or you can get someone at a stage in their life where they've put in the work and now they're just ready for their person, and you happen to get them at the best time of their life. you hear it all the time. Oh, you changed. You changed for the best. I didn't get that person. I got the old person. So I feel like it always depends on where in that person's life you meet them at. Because if you meet them at the beginning and they're just wilding out, the likelihood of you sticking around is going to be based on you. You know, do you want to pour into fixing that person, or do you want to be patient enough to let them go through whatever it is that they're experiencing? So that's just my opinion. What do you say, James?
What was the full question? What was the question you had asked? Can you hear me?
What are some
Am I muted?
signs that? What is it? So what are
All
some
right.
signs that you need in emotional intelligence? Was that? I think that was. What are some signs that you should look for?
Signs and yeah. I just
All right,
know I'm
so
off
we'll
the
go
grid.
what are some signs you should look for emotional intelligence? When you're dealing with someone and they start to get upset based off the things you're saying, how do they react? How do their words when you speak to them? How do your words when you speak to them? How do they affect them? Do they uplift them? Do they bring them down? Do they bash them? Because with emotional intelligence, you got to understand that your words have consequences. Your words have impact on your partner. They're going to either build them up or break them down. Also, when it comes to emotional intelligence with your partner, you got to understand empathy. Like when your partner's having a bad day, forget a bad day. Let's say your significant other lost their job, right? Do you think that is helpful for you to come up to them and say, hey, you've been out of work for a while. Have you been looking for work? What are you doing? Why aren't you on Indeed? Why aren't you going out and asking your friends and family for a job? Or can you understand that maybe with empathy that they're not at their high point right now? They're struggling right now. They realize that they don't have that income right now. They don't have that money to help you with the bills and rent, and maybe they're feeling low. Understanding that your person right now needs a little more compassion, babe. It's all right. You're gonna get another job. I'm gonna hold it down. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be okay. We've been through this before. Empathy, man. That's a major sign of emotional intelligence, because everything that you go through doesn't just affect you; it affects both of you. And if you can't support each other, then are you really building, or are you tearing your partner down?
All right.
Agree.
That's the last thing you want to do too.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's
you
so?
guys remember? Huh?
Yeah, Dan.
I was gonna say, do you guys remember a moment where you wasn't emotionally intelligent and you might have missed signs? Have you ever like ruined a relationship just due to your lack of emotional intelligence, a lack of an ability to detect that something was wrong?
Yeah, I think we all have, Dan. I think when we were younger, whenever we get into little arguments with our girlfriend or boyfriends at the time, right? Instead of taking a moment to step back and process what's going on, we'd flip out. I can't believe you did that. You over here texting such and such. You lying to me. These are big things, but we might have blown it out of proportion at a younger age. Now, when things go wrong, we can sit back and say, hey, you know what? Yes, this happened. Yes, this happened. Yes, this happened. But we can talk through it instead of letting our emotions get the best of us.
I'm going to also add into that at the beginning of fresh relationships, you don't know that person, so you can't really recognize if they're at a down point in their lives or if they're, this is just who they are, because you guys are just now starting to establish a foundation. So I would definitely say a lack of emotional intelligence is usually higher at the beginning of said relationships. And at the same time, when you yourself are not self-aware, you don't have the patience to rock out with someone. you don't have the ability to sit there and let someone express themselves without you reacting out of emotions, out of anger, out of sadness, or whatever the case is. So I feel like that is also another point where we typically are at our lowest when it comes to emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
And it sucks. It sucks.
It does.
So
It bites you. It comes back to bite you. You got to learn quick.
yeah.
You know?
I got a question. Why do you think that in the beginning of a relationship that so many people are not willing to put up with, unnecessary drama or trying to get to learn somebody?
Why they put up with the unnecessary drama?
Why they
Why
would
they
not
won't?
want to? Like when something goes wrong, let's say you've been dating a week or two, or you've been dating a month or two, and then you get into a small argument. I called you, you didn't answer the phone. I can't deal with this. Why do you think people deal with that or don't want to deal with that?
Ray, you got this?
I want to say the reason why people don't want to deal or have a short patience, a short wick for others and their BS at the beginning is because it's a couple of things. I'm gonna say social media and what's portrayed out there and what you deserve, and the person for you is gonna come unflawed. They're going to be prepared. They've done the work, and they're going to be able to recognize and be able to communicate with you with no issue because we are adults and we've gone through counseling, so they should just know
Mm.
that I think that they should just assumption that because I know and I'm able to recognize it, why can't you?
Mm.
You've been in relationships before. Oh, you have children. You should be able to recognize that. And it's not the same. Even though we may date multiple men, multiple women, everybody does not process information the same. So everybody doesn't behave the same. So what you may count as baggage, BS, holding on to past relationship residue, whatever the case is, they may just now begin they might just now be at the point in their life where they're starting to work on repairing themselves from a past relationship or from a childhood trauma.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Because you should know. You're an adult.
Yeah, but even if you feel people should know, like you said, it takes time for people to work through that trauma and let go of that baggage. But even once that, it takes so much time, that sometimes people just don't want to deal with it. A lot of us want someone who's already made, but even if someone goes to therapy and counseling and they're working through their baggage, it still takes time for them to get to know you and you to know them. I think with this situation, you got to learn to give people some grace, especially when you're starting out, just meeting someone that what is ready made. They know exactly what you want, exactly what you think. You just meeting this person or been with them a few months. They haven't been with you your whole life. You can't expect
Right.
for someone to know. I like my waffles this way. I don't know why you got dishes in the sink. I like them put this way. You should fold the clothes this way. Don't do this. Don't do it. Like it takes time, but when you're dealing with someone, you got to also realize that it's not going to be perfect. And those little small disagreements and those little things that you go through, once you get over them, help build a stronger connection between the both of you. If everything was easy when you first got into a relationship with them, you'd be head over heels and everything would be great. Yeah, but then when things go wrong, you're ready to drop them as soon as something minor happens.
Yeah.
You got to build that connection.
Right. As a matter of fact,
What we got?
what do you bring to the table? Do you bring peace? Do you bring peace to the table? Like,
Question.
What do you bring to the table?
Question.
It's always a fun question.
Question.
right.
What does it mean, or what do you think it means when people say, do you bring peace to the table?
Are you willing to shut up when I'm ranting and going through something and just listen? I don't need you and your feedback. I just need you to sit there and listen to me. Are you capable of doing that? Because the minute you open your mouth and you say something that goes against what I'm saying or what I'm feeling, you're a problem.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
So I'm gonna say this. When it comes to peace, right? Peace is just a state of mind. Firstly, you can be in the middle of chaos and you can be calm, you know.
Oh, look at that.
Shout out to Urban Buddha. You heard?
God.
Yeah,
Right.
shout out
That's
to
a fact.
Urban
That's a verified fact right here. It's a fact.
Firstly, peace is a state of mind. You could have lost everything in your life. You could have gotten arrested. You could have had a failed relationship, but mentally you're okay. When I ask if people bring peace to what it means when people bring peace to a relationship, it's understanding that
what does it mean to bring peace to a relationship?
Man, listen, I'm gonna keep going. I got thrown off by noise over here. Look, peace, right?
No, he did not freeze.
He did freeze.
He was about to talk about us having
I was like,
See,
obviously, he don't bring no peace.
Yeah, algorithm like, nope.
Shut him down. What are y'all thinking in the chat while he frozen right now? What do you guys think as far as bringing peace to a relationship? When someone asks you, did you bring peace to the table? How do you interpret that? This is funny. See,
honestly, I don't think it could be a one answer fits all because people have different needs. Some people need a lot of attention. Some people don't need a lot of attention. Like, you know, everybody has a different love language, so it's kind of hard. Yeah. You know, for there to be like a universal rule, you know?
Right. But that's where you have to pay attention. You really have to focus on getting to, if you're really interested in that person and understanding the ins and outs of them, then you have to pay attention. You can't just go in there and assume I'm gonna treat this person like I treated the last person just because they're the same gender. It don't work that way. Like, we all speak a different language, even though we may look alike. We don't talk the same thing at all, and that's the problem.
So do you think like emotional intelligence means analyzing another person's family dynamic? Meaning if you're dating a person, but they have like a bad relationship with their parents, do you think about that when you deal with them? Or do you kind of try to figure out what they think and feel based on the history that they have with their family?
I think it's going to go based on the history that they have with their family and where they are in that relationship with their family, because, and that's kind of tricky when you're on the outside trying to look in and be supportive of your partner and you see them beefing with their mother or their father. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know the history. You can only hope and pray that they are vulnerable enough to open up and share it with you. But to base how they are with their family, to base a judgment off of that, I feel like it's not fair. And I feel like you're possibly doing yourself a disservice, because if that's what you're going off of and you're wrong, now you're coming up to your own conclusions. We got James in the back. Hey, James. Yeah, you're coming up to your own conclusions based off of, probably a lack of information. And that happens. Like, people expect you to have a happy-go-lucky relationship with your parents simply because they're your parents, but don't understand, okay, well, growing up, your parents could have starved you. They could have whooped you. They could have abused you. They could have mistreated you or neglected you. But because they're your parents, you're supposed to give them that. Like, it doesn't always work that way. Welcome back, James.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that noise caused the internet to go out. So I'm back though. Now, what I was I'm sorry. I don't know what y'all on, but can I finish without saying peace? All right.
You come in peace.
I come in peace.
Yes.
So, when you were speaking on when a man comes in and they're ranting and raving, and they just want you to sit there and just listen and not give any input, it's not having input, but can a man just talk to you when he's having a bad day and you can just listen to the things that he's going through? Because sometimes as men, we don't open up to anybody, just anybody. We don't open up to everybody. And as our women, sometimes we want to be able to just talk to you and talk to you in a way where I can tell you my frustration, my goals, my dreams, what I'm working on, and the things that are in the back of my mind that I don't talk to anybody else about. And can you understand that when it comes to peace, we don't want someone to make our lives harder. You know, just like a woman doesn't want a man to make her life harder. When you're having a bad day, if you're going through something with your kids, if your car just broke down, if you're behind on that light bill, if you don't want to cook and you don't want to wash some dishes, we'll sit there and listen to you. And it doesn't take a lot of effort to sit there and just let you vent. And then after, we can figure out a solution to the problem. That's what most men want when they say we want peace. It's just someone who understands that sometimes we don't want to just have a back and forth conversation. Can you just listen to me?
But why do some men, because I'm not going to say all men, why do some men feel the need to have to voice or vocalize, will you be my peace? Will you bring peace? Because sometimes there's certain things where you don't have to speak on it. It's just a given. Like you don't hear women asking men, do you bring peace? Do you bring peace? I feel like listen, at least I ain't asking nobody, do you bring peace? Because I can look, I can pay attention, I can read between the lines in your behaviors and determine whether or not, because your mouth can tell me anything. Your actions are going to show me. So sometimes I feel like, me personally, I feel like there's certain things that you just don't need to say.
Yeah, you're right. But most of the men and most of the people who say those things are watching other podcasts and just repeating what they say. They have no idea what it really means. And that is a turnoff for a lot of people because you sound like everybody else. Do you bring
especially
peace?
When you can't back it up?
Yeah. Well, do you bring peace? What do you bring to the table, fam? If you knew what I really brought to the table, you wouldn't even be asking me these simple questions.
Right.
If we've been talking and you can't pick up on the things that I'm saying, or you can't see the actions that I'm doing, then you miss out.
Laura. So let me go back to what Laura first said, because it's right, the same thing that I mentioned earlier. Will you bring peace typically equals, are you willing to tolerate my toxic behavior and not attempt to hold me accountable for my behavior? And then she said the only time she's ever heard a man say he needs peace is when he's cutting up. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that everyone.
The guys that's not cutting up need peace.
Listen, the ones asking for peace, do you bring peace?
Yeah. What level, what state of emotional intelligence are they at? Have they worked through that trauma and that baggage, or are they still trying to figure life out and figure themselves out?
Right. Do you guys feel like people are really investing in putting in the work when it comes to understanding someone when pursuing a relationship? Or are we just throwing them in the microwave and pressing start and hoping that when it finishes, they're just the way we need them to be?
I think a lot of us are putting them in the microwave and the air fryer and just hoping that everything works out. But it never works like that. It can't work like that, because a successful relationship is built off of trial and error, and then unwillingness to give up during those trials and errors.
Okay. So look, let's do this, because we will definitely run over. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, you guys. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. In the midst of this commercial, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Like this episode. If you are watching us from Facebook, then make sure you share this link with a friend and stay locked. We'll be right back.
Mental ambition is a belief that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. It's holding yourself accountable for your mistakes, working through your traumas, is never giving up and overcoming any roadblocks or obstacles in your way that prevent your growth and progress. This is a self-help book that deals with mental health, life coaching, and practical advice that anyone can follow to help with self-improvement, accompanied by real-life stories to motivate and inspire you. My name is James Sweat. I'm a certified life coach and author of Mental Ambition, a guide to upgrading your life. If you feel that you have no one in your corner, just know that I'm rooting for you to win, and I believe in you. God bless and keep going. All right, we back.
We are back. Question for the fellows. What is it in a relationship with a woman that will reassure you enough for you to be vulnerable to express your emotions, express when you're upset, express when you are sad, those real strong, vulnerable moments? Like, what is it that women have to do to get you to that point? Let me just put it
If I
that
tell you something, don't throw it back in my face when we're in an argument.
way. Okay.
That's ammo whenever there's a disagreement. Because if I tell you something in confidence, that's me opening up. And if I can't tell you anything in confidence, why would I talk to you?
hmm Okay. What do you say, Dane?
Oh my gosh. It would look, I'm not good at being vulnerable as a man. I'll just be honest. And I think that the best way to get me to be vulnerable or admit vulnerabilities is to catch me in a vulnerable moment. And I know exploit seems like a bad word, but in those moments, you kind of have to pull more out of me because once the hard shell rehardens, it
Mhm.
probably won't come off for a while. So there, we all have vulnerable moments, but like James said, use that moment to take care of your man, to listen to him, or not your man, your partner. Listen to your partner and let them know that it's okay to be vulnerable because like James said in the previous episode, someone might get hurt and they might never open up again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so we all have vulnerable moments. We might have a sick child. We might have, we might lose a relative. And in those moments, it's important to provide comfort and reassurance that things will be okay. And, you do it once and you'll be able to get more of it. That's what I think, you know?
Okay. Now, what are men doing to bring reassurance to women that it's okay to let her guard down and be vulnerable with you?
We listen. Well, I
I'm
listen.
waiting.
When you're going through something, when I like, this is something that I've learned that a lot of men need to hear. When it comes to women, right? Most of the time, they don't want a solution to the problem. As men, we always try and fix whatever the problem is. Most of the time, they
Uh-oh.
just want to be able to vent on how they feel. They're going through, maybe if you're co-parenting, they got baby father drama. Maybe the kid's acting up in school. Maybe the kid has emotional problems and she's stressed out and doesn't know what to do. Sometimes she just needs to be able to let that out. And as a man, just listening is doing more than enough because at the end, she'll feel better. And then instead of just giving information, you can just ask, do you want some advice or do you just need to vent? Because
Mm.
if we just start giving advice, it shows that we're not listening. 90% of when it comes to dealing with women or being in a relationship with women is just listening. And then if she's just opening up to you, that's being vulnerable. And if you shoot her down or you're all just dismissing the things that she's talking about, she won't want to be vulnerable with you anymore. Just
Mhm.
listen.
Okay. What about you, Dane?
I think men need, women. Honestly, I just feel like it's the same. If you
Ooh,
see someone being vulnerable and having a vulnerable moment, don't exploit it. take care of them in that moment and make them feel comfortable, reassure them. I think men, I think we just are more naturally attentive to women when they're being vulnerable, because I think it's easier for women to be vulnerable than it is for guys. You know what I mean? So it's almost expected that we'll take care of them. Um, that's just what I think. What do you think, Bree?
I want Catherine to elaborate because Catherine said not true.
And Bree, do you
um,
what I said? Sorry.
huh?
Do you
Say it again.
agree with what I spoke on that how most of the time women don't want someone to solve the problem, they just want someone to listen? Or do you want the problem solved?
We want you to help solve the problem.
Okay.
Because we can go to our girlfriends to listen.
Okay.
That's what our friends are for. Um, I think that when it comes to men helping women be comfortable in their vulnerability, it starts with understanding that every independent woman
Mm.
is not independent by choice. If
Mm.
she is a single mother, she has no choice but to be strong. And
Mm.
best believe we be wanting to take the armor off, but we can't because we have someone that we're looking after. So, what vulnerability, the reassurance of vulnerability looks like for a woman is validating, understanding that when we express our emotions to you, we cry or we do whatever, we're not looking for you to validate anything. We just want you to understand and be there and comfort us,
Mm.
and help find solutions to things that are going to alleviate stress in our lives. um like, hey, something as simple as, hey, can you change the oil in my car? Can you unscrew the light bulb? Can you be a handyman around the house? The little things that guys are capable of doing will mean the world to us, right? Because we're gonna go to bat for you either way. Yes, Laura says we need to feel safe and secure to be authentically vulnerable with men, not just vulnerable for the moment so you can get some. No, like literally understand that a lot of us have gone through trauma growing up. A lot of us are still going through trauma. So we don't want to look at you as, the culprit. We want to look at you as the counselor in a sense. Just be a good person. Catherine says people do it though. Some men play with people's emotions without being honest. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
don't use, like how y'all saying, don't take something that we tell you and use it against us. Don't weaponize us with it,
Mm.
you know.
Just
Okay.
intelligence. Good.
Yeah. So it goes both ways. Like, okay, y'all don't want us to use it against y'all. We don't want y'all to use it against us. It's almost just like treat people the way that you want to be treated. Once again.
Mm.
Um
Yes. And if you
Facts
care
for
about
me.
them, pay attention. If you care about them, pay attention to them.
Yeah.
You will know exactly how to respond after a while.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And they'll share more and more. Like just like you guys, the more we see that we can depend on you, the more we'll open up to you. It's literally the same thing with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw it in the face. So, is it possible for one person to be more emotionally intelligent than the other?
Of course.
And what does
Yeah.
that look like? What would that look like?
Someone who's more emotionally intelligent, whenever there's an argument, instead of just blowing up an argument, they'll say, "Hey, can we revisit this conversation in a couple minutes when we calm down?" As
Mhm.
opposed to start yelling and screaming. It's understanding that when when you're going through something, or like you just said, if let's say the car needs oil change, or I'm stressed out because of work or whatever, instead of just being like, you know what, this is what you need to do. If I was you out and did this, it's taking a moment and saying, I hear what you're saying, but how can we fix the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And really just slowing down and taking the time to understand the situation when you're dealing with someone's emotions, whether emotions are high or low. When your person is depressed, it's understanding that giving them advice, it might not be the right time right now. Just
Mm-hmm.
listen, better off. You know, it's being in tune with what your partner needs. It's that empathy, understanding where they're at. But someone who has like low emotional intelligence, whenever emotion they feel, they run with it. If I'm mad at
Mm-hmm.
you, no. If I dislike you right now because you didn't do what I said, you're gonna know. Instead of taking and hey, I need to chill, and then coming back to it. Simply asking your partner, yo, what's wrong? Are you okay? That's very simple. When was the last time you sat down with your partner, your friend, and said, hey, how's your life going? Are you stressed
Yeah.
out? Do you need some support? Are you okay right now? And you listen, sometimes you ask that question, they might break out in tears because they've been struggling with some stuff you never even knew. And you live in the same.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them, are you okay? What can I do to make your life easier?
Hey,
Is
I would
there anything?
also,
Go ahead, Dan.
yeah, I was just gonna also add, emotional intelligence is also saying no when she asks you if she looks fat in the dress. Emotional intelligence, you know what I'm saying? Emotional intelligence is if she's coughing, she might be thirsty. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta think sometimes, Joe. You know what I mean? You gotta think about their emotions and how they're gonna react.
Okay, but what if they say, I want you to keep it a buck with me like all the time? And then what if she does look
No,
fat in
you
that
look
dress?
great in that. You look great, baby. That's what I'm gonna say. Bae, you killing it. The green one is a little bit better than the one you got on, but that one's nice too. That one is nice too.
So it's all about, to sum that up, it's all about how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can say, that green one, not so much. Or you can say, hey, that green one, I don't really mess with the green one, but the other one, it's all about how you say it. That delivery will either keep you in the doghouse or out the doghouse.
Right. And it's also understanding that they're not gonna react good to you telling them. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta think
Yeah.
about what you say.
Mm.
You
All
know?
right. Okay, so Catherine says, even when you open up, some men still play with your emotions when you're vulnerable. And that,
Well,
yeah.
that brings me to another point, guys. What do you think? Do you think there's like a correlation between emotional intelligence and emotional manipulation? Because if you're too intelligent, that kind of gives you a superpower and you can take advantage of people. You know what I mean? So maybe that goes to what Catherine was getting at. Some people can be so emotionally intelligent that they could take advantage of you. I mean, it happens in sales. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that no matter what, when it comes to emotions and this manipulation thing, everyone has the ability to be manipulative.
Yep.
But it's choose to be manipulative or not. That depends on you. Right? So no matter what, we can all play off people's emotions. When someone's sad, we know we can comfort them and we could try and get something out of it. But does that make you a good person?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a it's a sign of moral character and your values. If you're running across people who are super manipulative, which a lot of people are, you just got to be careful. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is also why it's hard for people to open up and to be emotionally available and let them guards down, because there's so many people who are good at manipulation and playing on your feelings and your emotions just to get whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
It's
What
true.
are some ways, or what are some things that you guys do to control your emotions when you're angry? What do you do?
Damn, you want me to get it?
Yeah. Me personally, the Urban Buddha, I go
The
for a
urban.
walk.
Urban Buddha
Okay,
himself.
I go get some fresh air because fresh air and walks fix everything. Go to urbanbuddha.bigcartel.com and go get you some aromatherapy. You know what I'm saying? It'll bring you right back down where you need to be. It'll level you out. You know what I'm saying? Go get yourself a shirt and just something that reminds you to bring it back to the baseline. Be cool, stay calm, reset. You don't have to go to the store to get those things. You can just do those things and take good care of yourself. Because that comes before anything. That's just what I think. You know. How about
Okay.
you guys? What up, James? What you got, brother?
When I'm angry, what do I do in them situations with my partner?
No, just in general.
General, man, in general, I can be mad 90% of the time, but you won't know. And the reason that is because once I show someone that they can get me angry, now they know that they can control my emotions. And that's not a good thing to do. Because if it's about a character, you're not in control, they are. Right? So I try to keep an even keel. But when I am upset, I'll be right back. I'm going to take 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to go sit in this car for a second. And in that car, I might be yelling. I might be screaming. I could be like, I can't believe the person is such and such and such. And, you know, I got to let it out. It's finding a healthy way. Because me just reacting when I'm angry, I can make decisions that can cost me time, that can cost me money, that can cost me my job, and that can also cost me to do some criminal time if I react and I physically hit somebody. And these are things you got to understand. Just because you're angry doesn't mean that you can just move how you want to move, because there's always consequences to doing. There's consequences to the things that you do.
Right.
I'm angry, fam. I can say whatever I want in my head, but once it leaves my lips, now it can escalate a problem.
Yeah. So, as for me, when it comes to anger, I try to be a little bit more in control when it comes to anger, especially for myself, because I feel like those type of negative emotions have a consequence on the body and your health. So I do try not to allow someone to get me out of my element. If I am angry or upset, I will walk it off, or I will reach out to a friend and, just either talk to them over the phone or text them. Or I might play video games. That's something else that I might do, something to stimulate my mind in another way, to take my focus off of whatever the negative agenda was, for the most part. But yeah, now before you get cussed out, I used to cuss folks out. I cuss you out through
Oh, they don't
text. I
get cussed
cuss you
out
out
no
through the
more, huh?
phone. No, they don't get cussed out no more because I be having to think about futuristic stuff. Like, okay, yeah, I don't need nobody be like, oh, Bree was on Twitter and this is what she said to somebody. Nah, we ain't doing that. I won't cuss y'all that way no more. But yeah, now I'm just like, like James said, I'm not about to let nobody have the upper hand and take my power from me by having me act a plumb fool. Like, nah, it's just not happening. So now,
Okay, good.
I was about to change the emotion to sadness. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna add in there before we get to sadness. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm gonna go get some wings. I'm gonna go get a BLT. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna eat my favorite food, and I'm gonna relax. Because normally after you eat, you too sleepy to
Solid
Yeah.
plan.
I'm
That sounds
just
like a solid
tired.
plan.
You know what
That
I'm
made
saying?
me happy. Just think about it, man. Real shit.
Done.
Get that
Good.
Gordita crunch.
Now, what about in situations where you're upset, like sad, like you just had a loved one pass or someone close to you pass away, and your partner wants to be there for you? How do you deal with that emotion and the people who want to comfort you?
Yeah.
You want to go?
Go ahead, brother.
Everyone grieves differently. Some people, they need companionship during those hard times just to have someone to talk to and show them that they care. But there are some people who just don't want to be bothered and they rather process their emotions alone. It can't all be put into one category of this works for everybody. You just got to see what works for your partner. But when it comes to me, most of the time when I'm going through something, I want to be left alone. Because if I'm sad, sadness can quickly turn to anger because my emotions are all over the place and I'm trying to process.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, if I'm alone, I might use distractions, whether that's playing my video game, whether that's diving into work, whether that's spending time with my friends. But that's just what I do during those times of sadness. What you say, Dan? Or sorry, Bree, whoever wants to go.
Mine will be short. I will isolate myself from everybody else when it comes to sadness because I want to once again have some type of control over that emotion and I don't want to burden someone else with it. If I feel like it's getting out of control where I can no longer handle it by myself, then I'm going to reach out to friends and those who are close to me for help and comfort. But for the most part, I isolate myself and just deal with it individually.
Okay.
Well, when I'm depressed, I hit the gym. When I'm sad, I hit the gym. You know what I'm saying? I find that one, it helps me work through stress. And secondly, I think when I'm in there, when I get out of this tough moment, when I get through this depression, I am going to be a better version of myself because I stuck to the program, even though I didn't feel my best and I wasn't at my best emotionally. You have to find ways to weather the storm. And it's important to remember that bad moments come and go. They come and go. And you got to remember that. So even in bad moments, you got to take care of yourself so that you can get through to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Good answer. Laura says a little off topic, but why do some men feel the need to disclose that they are looking for a submissive woman right off the rip? Is this them being transparent or manipulative?
That's
Fellas?
that's the man that keeps watching them same alpha male podcast.
Red pill, blue pill.
Yeah. Because like Bree said, yo, if you're a certain way, you don't have to ask questions or you don't have to answer these questions. You're just gonna see it. Everyone wants to know off the rip. Yo, you got money? Yo, are you submissive? Yo, what do you table? They want to get to the point, but fam, you sound like everybody else. Why don't you just take the time to know the person and ask a different question? What are you doing with your life? Sounds better than what do you bring to the table? When we're having a disagreement, what is your argument style? Come and talk to me, or are you gonna be standoffish? Is a better way to ask a question instead of are you submissive?
Right.
You gotta think outside the box. Don't repeat what everyone else is saying. And it's not manipulation, or it's not manipulation. It can be, but a lot of people are at this point in their lives where they don't want to waste time, so they want to ask all these basic questions. But sometimes you got to do everything going basic.
I could understand why Laura said why she asked if it was them trying to be manipulative, because the thing is, if you are a woman who is aggressive and you're not naturally submissive, then by him stating that he wants someone submissive, it's almost like, hey, I understand you're not naturally submissive, but that's how I'm going to want my woman to be. So if you want to be my woman, then that's what you need to be. And you have some women who will, camouflage themselves to be someone who they're not. And men too, and it only lasts but for so long, because you can only fake it, until you're tired of faking it.
Yep.
And then the real you is going to come out.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, as a woman, like for myself, naturally, yeah, I am aggressive. I can get a little smart at the mouth, but with the right man, I know who not to test. I know, okay, well, I need to kind of tone it down a little bit. So those are the type of guys that I go for. I don't go for the guys who are, I'm not gonna say betas or whatever, but I'm not gonna go for the guys who are just, very emotional right out the gate. I'm not gonna go for those type of guys. I'm gonna go for someone that I know matches with me. And you have to know yourself in order to be able to do that.
I got a question for you. What is being submissive as a woman? What does that mean to you, Bree?
Being submissive as a woman, for me, it's allowing, and even when I start off the sentence, it's like that's not a submissive move, but allowing a man to be a man and take the lead, and I follow suit. That means that I'm going to have to trust you, and I'm not going to grab the steering wheel when you're trying to drive us. It just means having more trust in my partner to the extent where I'm going to allow him to point us in the right direction. And that's all it is. Honestly, is trust. If you don't have trust, if I can't trust you and I can't trust your judgment, you ain't leading us nowhere. You lead yourself.
There you go.
But do you have leadership qualities?
Oof,
Are
come
you
on.
capable of leading even yourself?
Mm-hmm. You talking that talk right? Got more?
I'm just no, because I ain't trying to beef with nobody, but I'm just saying, like I say this all the time. Go for what you can offer. If you know that you're not capable of getting the job done, don't go trying to direct somebody else and want somebody to follow your lead, because you're gonna lead them into a brick wall. I stay away from the men who are not certain. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you want to do. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Cause I know what I want to do.
Mm.
What do you want to do? What can you take the lead and this is what we're gonna do? I'm okay with that.
Okay. So
Mm.
if a man asks you what you want to eat, would you rather have him let you pick or just we're going here and be ready?
We're going here, be ready.
Okay.
Tell me what I need to wear.
Put on some sweatpants. We'll be going to Taco Bell.
Oh, we going to ball. Oh, I thought we was going to ball. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Catherine says some men think that being submissive thinks it means obey. I'm dealing with that right now. Yeah, obey. That ain't gonna sit right with me.
That's the sign of emotional intelligence. Like what you said, Bree, being submissive is trusting in your man's leadership and his decision making. That's all.
Mhm.
You know that he's gonna guide you to fix whatever problems that arise, or if anything goes wrong, you know that you can depend on him.
Right.
And
Laura
that
says that comment frightens me because some men think being submissive is the woman just sits down and listens, has no opinion. You
no,
want your woman to have an opinion.
you definitely do. That woman's intuition is real.
Yeah. Listen, told you so. All right. Let's go ahead and start wrapping up the show. We'll let Dame go first. So Dame, go ahead, let the people know, of course, where they can find you, how they can support you, and all that good jazz.
Hey, what's up, family? It's your boy Dame Herb back at you, repping CT on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube. If you didn't delete TikTok, you can still follow me there. If you deleted your phone, you got to go to eBay and buy one for $10,000 and then find me at repping CT. We appreciate you guys joining us. As always, you can always go to urbanbuddha.bigcartel.com and check out some really cool items that will keep you calm in the middle of chaos. I got a lot of love for you. As I always say, take care of yourselves. For me, James, and Bree, And me, James, and Bree will take care of ourselves for you so that we could come back and do this again. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Yes. All right. And James?
It's your boy, James, Mr. Mental Ambition, owner of Mental Ambition, author of Mental Ambition, The Guide to Upgrading Your Life, and Mental Ambition, The Guide to a Better Relationship on Amazon, Walmart, BarnesandNoble.com. If you want to get in contact with me or you want to hit me on my social media, while TikTok is still up, you can hit me at mental_ambition 2.0. Instagram is at mental_ambition 3.0. On TikTok, 74,000 followers, 2.2 million likes, 80 million views. If you want to get in touch with me for any of the services that I offer, whether that's motivational speaking, life coaching, recovery coaching, you need someone just to come through and tell some jokes and kick it with you because you're feeling down, go ahead and hit the website, 3ws.mental-ambition.com. Prepare your mind for any challenge and believe you can accomplish anything. Stay focused, stay grounded, you keep going. We appreciate everyone who likes, comments, shares, and everyone who watches, man. We do this for you. So take care of yourself, like Dame said, and we're going to take care of ourselves. You got this.
Yes. What's going on, y'all? It is your girl, Simply Bree, and you can follow me on social media. Just look up Simply Bree. I am still on TikTok, but I deleted it from my phone, so I would have to check it from my computer because I ain't going to eBay and buying no $10,000 phone. But definitely subscribe to me. I'm on Threads, mostly Threads and Instagram. I also, if you need any type of media done, graphic design, I do resumes, I do bios, I do brochures, I do websites, I do logos. If you need any of that done, go ahead and check out my website. I am simplybree.com and fill out the form. Okay, let's have a talk. Let's have a consultation where I can help you figure out what it is that you're trying to do and what it is that you need to do. And then we can get it done together. Make sure that you guys head on over to hesaidwhatnetwork.com as well. And like, comment, share your favorite episode. Let us know what you think about this episode. Make sure you click that like button because likes are free. There is no tariff on likes. Okay? So with that being said, and then also on the He Said What Network, there will be another show that's returning, Studio Vibes, where I am interviewing musicians. So if you are a rapper, singer, poet, if you are A&R rep, if you are a producer, if you're a songwriter, and you're looking for a space where you can actually tell us about your journey and get some of your music played on YouTube, definitely make sure that you hit me up. So hit me up on Instagram and I'll send you all of the information. So other than that, that's all I got going on. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. He said whatnetwork.com. Make sure you go ahead and get the merch. And anything else that you guys want to add before we go ahead and wrap this thing up?
Yes. Dame, you need to unmute your mic first.
I love you guys. That was all I was saying.
I love you guys as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Emotional intelligence, work on it. Before you react, think about it. Because you can always make things worse. Take your time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We love you guys as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that being said, make sure you tune in next week. We're going to do the same thing, same time, same place. So with that being said, you guys have a good evening. Bye.
It's very important to make sure that the person you're with knows what you need, because if you're not getting your needs met, what are we really holding on to with this leash?
You're going to be judged. Whether you agree to it or not, people are always going to have something to say because it's not what they like.
If you want to be solo, just y'all two, like most of us want, you kick it that way.